Damn, maybe we should. Maybe we should do a video on Warhammer 40k. Everyone's asking for it. Warhammer 40k, it's so fucking good. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm YouTube's Lara Bingle. I am the first contact that people from America, the UK, I don't know, sometimes Kazakhstan, have with Australia. And they tell me that I am their into Australian culture, that I am their first contact with it, and I teach them all about this great southern land. So as such, I'm going to introduce you to 10 other people that you should be learning from that are far bigger examples of Australian success than me. These people are, if Uluru was able to move and talk, they are that vital to the Australian spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the top 10 greatest Australian celebrities of all time. Number 1, that car that Toadie drove off the cliff. Just to give everyone a visual of what we're talking about, in case you were living under a rock. Look at this. This is Australia's version of when the Fonz jumped over those sharks. But because it's Australia, the budget, I'm pretty sure it was just they got a car out of Cars Guide and pushed it off manually. I don't even think they could afford the petrol. That moment, along with Graham Kennedy almost saying fuck in the 70s, ooh, hardcore, is one of the most iconic Australian moments in television history because it was just so sad. They were just married. And for that, this shit beige station wagon deserves to be on the list. What do you think about when you think of Thelma and Louise? The actors? I don't. Moving on to number 2, and before you say it, yes, there is actually going to be human beings on this list. Number 2 is Dickie Knee the Puppet. Look at this gold. No wonder this was the most popular Australian show for 20 years. There was a little ball with some hair that is worse than every wig I own, coming up on screen going, Mr. Shamish, Mr. Shamish. Now, think about this. This show clearly had a smaller budget than Friendly Geordies. Mr. Shamish, Mr. Summers on a stick. Coming up and saying, yeah, what is it, Dickie? When's your show going to get interesting? Oh, pipe down then. And because he was such a rapscallion rascal, Hellraiser, number 2. Number 3 goes to Australia's most iconic sports journalist, the guy sitting next to Fatty. I can't remember that man's name. All I know is every time I switched on to the footy show, I wondered, why isn't he called Fatty? Look at him, he's twice the size of Fatty. Matt isn't certain about this, but he's pretty sure that he was also in Atlas ads.
Don't worry, fellas, we're covered with the Easter savings. Atlas!
If so, go to the Ian Thorpe pool and do a celebratory cannonball, you glorious no-name journo. And I do apologise for not knowing your name. That is my fault, but also partially yours. You had everything going for you. You should have been called Fatty, and you didn't take it. Shame. Look at him. You know that every time he laughs, he's got that beep, 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 beep laugh that sounds like when Scooby-Doo's scared. He must snore so loudly the roadies from AC/DC must have knocked on his door once and gone, mate, we're trying to do a concert 30 kilometres away.
Oh, sorry, mate. Me wife did say I snore sometimes.
The next cab off the rank, the radio duo that needs no introduction. They really changed the game and made FM cool again. Paddy and CL on Central Coast Radio. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, this has turned from 20-1 to Australia's most wanted. This is a lost person's call out. Where are they now? Please, tell me they're okay. Number 5, the woman who interviewed Corey Worthington, and we purposefully didn't look up her name because we really want to highlight that she had the story of a millennium. No news story has been bigger in Australia since. That was our 9/11. She was on ground zero as it happened. It was as if she was sitting there going, and so it's just another sunny day in New York, and oh my God! But instead of that, it was just some pimply teenager going, nah, not doing it. She was there. The only thing that could possibly be bigger is if aliens landed. And still, no one knows her name. Number 6, the greatest export of Australian rock music. That's right, Shortstack. I think they played in New Zealand a couple of times. Go back and watch that, because you know how your parents always look at the 80s and go, what was I thinking? Mullet? Our generation didn't have that. Our mullet haircut, even when it was cool, most of our generation was going, dude, you look like shit. Number 7, Vulcan from Australian Gladiators. Problem, bro? No other gladiator instilled as much fear in the eyes of contestants that were always in IT as Vulcan. And rightly so. Look at that epilepsy helmet. And his cricket gloves. Can one show Australia produces have a bigger budget than $50? Why did they ever get rid of Australian Gladiator? It rated really well. If you got Channel 7 News with Mark Ferguson in Speedos going, if you get past me, I'll tell you where the cheapest fuel in Sydney is. You get back to the days of Australian shows rating over 2 million like that. Number 8. The next man is an honorary mention, like David Koch and Melissa Doyle are, by the way. It just goes without saying. But this guy shouldn't even be an Australian celebrity. It is a crime that he is not known worldwide. Blair from Big Brother. Look at this triple threat. Let's go through his list of achievements, or at least some of them. I know we don't have all day. A former semi-professional footballer. Bet you didn't know that. What does semi-professional even mean? He wasn't picked last in high school? Clearly a brilliant actor. He was on Neighbours, puts Prime Possum to shame, then pursued acting in London, where he did basically the same role. So I don't want to hear one fucking bad word in the comments about Blair McDonough or whatever his last name is. Blair whatever is gold. Number 9, and Australia has been very lucky to have some fantastically talented talk show hosts over the years, but none of them even come close to the indisputably greatest of them all, David Tench, the animated puppet. What was Rove thinking? What was 10 thinking? How is this aimed at adults? It's the same animation as Postman Pat now. This character from the video game Speed Freaks interviewed the Prime Minister, and we want a seat on the Security Council? We're gonna have to do better than this, sorry. And speaking of better than this, who here can honestly look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am a better human being than Jeff Jantz? He's the last one on our list for a reason, because I'm pretty sure he was on the midday show sometimes. Remember that? This is really sad. As an Australian kid, I used to look at Jeff Jantz on television advertising Seafold tuna and thinking, that is the height of success. That man is Australia's Brad Pitt. And you know what's funny to American viewers? He is. He's one of the most famous people we've ever produced. And even then, you look at him and you go, I think I remember him. Look, usually I pretend that I'm interested in everybody's thoughts, but this time I am. As if this list isn't perfect. If you have any additions at all, tell me, because I think that we're going to have to do a round 2 of this. The greatest celebrities of Australia, 11 to 20. I bet we can't even get to 20. I don't think there's that many famous people here. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you press the notification button. See you next week. Bye. Seafold tuna.
Please share and comment below. Comment.